Today is a big day at the Mullet Marathon. The Department of Inland Revenue taking steps to ensure that all Bahamians are fully aware of the work that they do and how you can learn more about what you need to do as a taxpayer in our country and to be compliant with the requirements of the Department of Inland Revenue. Today, they are launching their tax awareness campaign here at the Mullet Marathon, and I'm pleased to welcome the acting controller and the acting controller of the Department of Inland Revenue, Mrs. Rosemary Bowe. Mrs. Bowe, good to have you on Let's Talk Live.
Good morning, Carlton. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
And let me thank you for having me here today to share in this most important information campaign that you're launching today. Tell us about what you're trying to do here today.
Well, actually, we are trying to sensitize the public and create awareness of what it is that the changes that have been taking place within the Department of Inland Revenue with respect to the various tax types. You know, we have gone through quite a metamorphosis over the past couple of years, and in there we have, kind of drifted away, and there's been some confusion created in some instances, and we are basically trying to bring it all home and create an environment whereby we can service the public with respect to tax awareness, tax payments, information gathering. We just basically want to make it easier, faster, and better for our taxpayers.
That is the theme of this campaign, to ensure that you can create greater levels of efficiency within the Department of Inland Revenue.
Most definitely, and make it easier for our taxpayers. We want to educate them, and we wish to also provide better services to them.
Now, the Department of Inland Revenue is actually the central revenue agency for the government. You have the greatest responsibility for tax collection in the country.
Yes.
You said that there were some challenges that you had to work through. What were some of the challenges, and how is the operation working now?
Well, the challenges is that some of the major challenges were basically that with respect to our business license in particular. We were and we still are dependent on other agencies to assist with us in getting our businesses licensed. And of course, our dependence on them is basically legislative. So in a number of instances, you had persons who had to go to several agencies before they were able to be granted their business license, even for a renewal, once they have had those licenses. And so basically we are looking to make the process easier by cutting out some of the red tape. One of the initiatives that we have in place is where particularly for new businesses, instead of them going to national insurance and having to go there and fill out an application, what will happen now is they come to us and we they fill out one application for everything online with us. And instead of them having to run back and forth between agencies, we do the running for them. And we have a protocol set with the agencies that we are dependent on as to the time frame that we would like for them to be able to respond to us in order for us to respond to our customers. And so we are working through those difficulties.
So the Department of Inland Revenue is becoming somewhat of a one-stop shop for the business license process. No longer do you have to go anywhere else. You come to the Department of Inland Revenue, fill in your application, and within a certain time period, you should get a response from the Department of Inland Revenue, yay or nay.
But you see there, Carlton, you no longer have to come to the Department of Inland Revenue.
Okay.
You do not have to come to us.
You can go online.
All of our processes are online. It's an online process. The application is online. We forward the application to the various agencies online, so there's no more running up and down. When I say running up and down, that's a figure, that's not literal. That's
telephone calls.
Yes, not even telephone calls.
Or emails.
We communicate by emails, and then if we're not getting a response from those, then the telephone. But it's a completely online process. Now the difference is with the agencies. In some instances, let's take for instance, physical planning, environmental health. We would shoot them an email they have persons set up in their agency who is manning what it is that we are sending to them. And then they would make an appointment with the business person to say, okay, we know that you have a request in for your premises to be inspected. We will come down on this particular date or set an appointment so that so the person will no longer have, previously they had to physically go to each agency. Now they send us an application, we get it to the agency, we alert them that it's there, and we do the walking via computer, except for when the agencies have to visit their establishments.
One of the areas that the government had concern with in years past, and probably still to some extent, is real property tax. Have you seen any significant improvement on the collection of real property tax? And what would you say is attributed to the change, if there has been?
The change has been, it's been a multifaceted approach in that we have, we started out with granting amnesty for persons who were not current with their real property taxes, right? But the thing is, previously in the Bahamas, you know, it was almost like real property tax adherence and payments was voluntary because the department over the years was really not pushing the collection of real property tax. Our taxes were not considered to be important because remember now for a while our thing was that we were taxed. We didn't have taxes.
Tax-free zone. Tax haven.
Yes. So now we have to resensitize our populace to the fact that, hey, look, the country runs on taxes. The importance of paying their taxes. You know, I always say to persons, the government has no bank account except the bank account of its citizens, you know, and that is through us paying our taxes.
And so that must be a real challenge for the Department of Inland Revenue, trying to ensure that the public understands the need to be compliant with their taxes and to determine when and how to deal with the issue of non-compliance.
Well, yes, it is. Normally, the focus actually, now that we have the online process going for all of our tax types actually, our business license is an online process. You can now access your tax account online, your real property tax account online, and of course we know VAT began online. And those are our three main tax types. We also have VAT stamp tax, and so we have excise tax. Now, those two are not presently online, but we are looking to make the entire process an online process for our clients. You know, and so that is basically how we address our challenges. That and really what we are doing here today, sensitization and education. So, you know, I would just basically like to invite the public to come on down to the mall at Marathon. We have our computers set up. We have, so we'll be able to interact with persons, show them how easy it is to go online and not have to come down to our physical site on Carmichael Road. How you can pay online. We have payment, we accept credit cards, we accept debit cards online. So, you know, we are really, in all honesty, trying to make this a better process for the public.
You're moving into a digital environment. You're trying to be a pace setter in the Bahamas and ensuring that Bahamians understand the value of working in the digital environment as opposed to running through the streets of Freeport that are very congested at all times and makes it very difficult for you to get more than one thing done on a given day.
You know, it's been yes, that is our objective because it's been heartwarming because there were a number of persons that came in, and once we showed them that, hey, look, you can even do this on your smartphone. You do not have to have a computer. Your phone can take a picture, send it to us. Our app, our business license process, because it's online, if you have data, which most persons do, you can log into your account and you can take a photograph of anything that needs to be uploaded to us and send it to us right on your smartphone. So some folks will say, well, I don't have a printer, I don't have a scanner. You don't need those things once you have a smartphone. So, you know, our next step will be able to make, of course, the process on the phone more phone friendly, but it can be done, and a number of persons have been doing it.
Now, since you've been operational, people have complained about the response time from the Department of Inland Revenue in a number of areas. What are you doing to ensure that you can significantly reduce the response time and guarantee people that within a time frame they will hear from the Department of Inland Revenue, either to confirm, to advise of the progress, or to tell them they would have been declined for whatever reason?
Well, as part of the government's ease of doing business initiative, we are being monitored. And so we are not only being monitored within the department, we are also being monitored externally. And persons are there watching and being able to say to us, hey, look, this has been sitting for X number of days. Someone needs to respond. And we also have it intend to have processors revisit cases on a regular basis and respond and give persons updates on what is happening, as opposed to just having what one of our major complaints was, that we just have it sitting there saying in progress, in process. We are now saying to our processors, you need to now give persons updates. So that is something that we are implementing. But one of the key reasons why we are not as timely as we would like to be is because we rely on other agencies. Remember that. And unfortunately, we were the ones who started the digital process, and we have had to sort of bring some of the other agencies along. And because not all of our computers are on the same platform, we have little challenges and glitches that we are working through.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge, even with what you're trying to do now.
Yes.
There should be a more integrated system where the government is working on one platform, one national platform, and everybody communicates through that one platform.
Yes,
that would be ideal.
That would be ideal, and actually we are planning and we are hoping for that in short order. Not this particular cycle, but hopefully next cycle we should have all of us on a same platform, or if not on the same platform, have our platforms interconnected.
And so today you're taking the information campaign out of the office, you're taking it out of the television sets, you're taking it off the online platform, and you're bringing it to the people and giving them an opportunity to interface with key representatives from the Department of Inland Revenue.
Yes, we have representatives from business license, we have representatives here from property tax, we have VAT, and of course our tax compliance certificate, which is another area that is basically new. It was introduced a little over a year ago, and
that also caused some challenges for the business community. Many people were complaining that the tax compliance certificates, renewing those tax compliance certificates regularly became a challenge for them, and sometimes they didn't get their responses in time, and it impacted on their ability to effectively do their business.
Well, we are aware of that, and we are also working on that. But again, like I said earlier when we began, some of our challenges are based on the fact that what we are doing is actually written in the law.
Right.
And so, because we always feel that we should adhere to the law, as much as we might like to change some of those on a dime, we have to abide within the law, but we are making recommendations for amendments as we speak.
Okay.
Those areas that are presenting major challenges to us, we are seeking to have those amended so that the initiatives that we plan to put in place would be within the law and to the benefit of the community.
Okay, Mrs. Rosemary Bowe, thank you so much for sharing. Obviously, you're going to be back before the end of the show to talk some more about this initiative. We have to talk to some more of your staff members to find out exactly what they're doing in their departments, and they can talk about what they plan to do here today and how they plan to help make it, how do you say it? Easier, faster, better for our customers.
Thank you very much, Carlton. It's been a pleasure, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.